the Pietermaritzburg Magistrates Court is expected to hand down a judgment in the application by Advocate Belly Downer and journalist Karyn Maughan to have former President Jacob Zuma's private prosecution matter set aside. Zuma is accusing Downer of allegedly leaking his confidential medical records to Maughan. Maughan and Downer are asking the court to set aside the private prosecution and also for an interdict to prevent Zuma from pressing any charges going forward in the future. For more on this, we now bring in our reporter, Simphiwe Makhanya, who's joining us from outside the court. Simphiwe, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. First of all, we saw that the court is not allowing any cameras inside. Why is that?
Indeed, children, we are at the Pietermaritzburg High Court where we are expecting the acting judge in this particular matter, that's acting judge Ms. Wallace, who has just issued that instruction that members of the media can indeed be inside the court when that judgment is being delivered. But unfortunately, cameras have not been allowed to, record the proceedings. But Eldrin, the judgment itself is expected to be delivered at 9:30. By 9:25, we should be inside the courtroom in terms of the anticipation of what is going to happen today. But let me engage legal analyst Mr. Mpumelelo Zigalala from Zigalala Attorneys in terms of what we can expect this morning. Mr. Zigalala, thank you so much as always for your time. What are your expectations today?
I think the manner in which the proceedings are now going to go in, I think you're only going to get the outcome and not the reasons for the judgment. So it's going to be very short, very brief, saying that this is the person who has won. The application is successful or the application is not successful. It's simply going to end there. So the reasons of the judgment, I think those are only going to come later. But those are going to be very important in terms of determining two things. Whether you've won or lost, was it based on the basis of that there's no agency or the court has established agency? Secondly, did the courts then say, we view this dispute resolution process that you have started, which is civil, the more appropriate one to deal with the matter once and for all, or we are sending it back to the criminal court and saying that the criminal court is well equipped to deal with the matter, go back there, be able to raise a defense in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, Section 106(1)H, and then be able to deal with all the matters once you've arrived at that court. But whichever way it goes, any of the aggrieved parties still has an opportunity to go to the SCA or even to the ConCourt. There's a very small number of cases that have dealt with this type of disputes, and surely it's going to increase the jurisprudence that we have in South Africa when the matter goes on to a higher court, either the SCA or the Constitutional Court, if either of the parties decide to do so.
What sort of impact is that going to have now in the criminal matter?
If the application is dismissed, then you go back to the criminal matter. You deal with the matter as any other criminal matter would be, exchange of documents, setting down of a pre-trial, and then the trial at the end of the day. However, if it is upheld, then the only thing that you can do is then to say, I've won. You can't, even the summons that you have issued will be taken to be no force and effect, and the matter simply ends there unless there's an appeal which is on the cards.
Mr. Zigala, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's Mr. Mpumelelo Zigalala from Zigalala Attorneys here outside the Pietermaritzburg High Court, just giving us an update in terms of what we can expect from the judgment as it is going to be delivered at 9:30 this morning. Eldrin, we have to link back to studio.